Hey everybody, and welcome back to Rathlin Island. It's day 7. We have advanced into late autumn, and we're down here at our bale storage building because we're going to do a little winter prep. First thing we want to do is we need to get some bales up at the sheep farm in the event that winter happens and we're not able to get down here right away to get some hay bales. We're going to put a little bit of a stockpile up there. So we're going to take these 6 hay bales up there. I'm also going to see if I can't go ahead and pick up the salt spreader and see if we can't get that taken up there. Meant that we need to clear some salt. We don't want to be stuck to where we can't get to the spreader. I found it easier to load this thing by doing it this way, kind of loading the opposite side first and then loading the closest side. And I have to say that I've been talking about the BGA accepting straw, and last night I took a load of straw down there to test, and you know what? The BGA does not take straw. I thought the BGA extension mod accepted straw, but I was wrong. They do not. So that puts a little bit of a kibosh on that, if you will. So it's got me thinking again, rethinking my strategies. Again, you know, it seems like we're not able to keep the BGA energy production above 600 kilowatts. For very long, with feeding it silage and potatoes. That's about as high as it wants to go, is to 600 kilowatts. I had thought for sure that we were approaching 700 or so with hay. So it may just be that that silage is not the best fuel source for the BGA with respect to energy production. So I'm thinking that you know, what we were going to do is we were going to I was talking in the last episode about when late autumn came to mow the grass fields one last time and use it for silage for take it down to the bunker. Well, I'm thinking what I'm going to do now is mow and ted that and just make hay bales and then store the hay bales and use those for the BGA. So we are about $1,000, just under $1,000 an hour earned. Just still a nice chunk of change. Figure every 4 days, it's $100,000 of money earned. Not too terrible bad, I have to say. Push that one in a little more. These bales also being 2,000 liters apiece. We had to take, last night I took 2 trailer loads of bales up to the sheep to top them off. So they took 12 hay bales to get topped off. They weren't really that far down. They were, I mean, they weren't complaining about being super low. So 6 bales will probably hold them for a day to a day and a half, which will get us the time we need to get down here and get things cleared off so we can get more hay Event of a bad storm. You just push that better. Nope. The only bad thing about this is how we have to, can't quite stab them square. Just a byproduct of how these arms are working. Seems to work fairly well though. So what we're going to do today is we're going to start mowing again, and like I said, we're going to mow in Ted and Windrow. Yeah, mow, Ted, and Windrow, whatever grass we can get off of these fields, and get it baled up, and bring those bales down here. Now both of these buildings are fairly full with hay bales. Probably fill up both of these to the max and need to put another building in it down. Then the question is, probably we'll put it over at the BGA. We had the square bale building down at the BGA earlier. Actually, let's see here. I bet you these pallets are ready to come off also. Yep, they are. Let's go ahead and get that done while we're down here. I have my pallet forks. Bale forks for now. And we'll probably have enough to, we'll definitely have enough produce to take another load down across the sound later today. It's going to bring us about $7,000. Stuck on here. Alright, well, we just did a quick cut there. We got that pallet free and went ahead and picked up the rest of the pallets real quick. Bother to rest of that on camera. Having fork malfunction, so we didn't need to see me constantly trying to wiggle that fork off, or that pallet off of the forks. Just quick edit. Let's go over here and see if we can't get the gritter on the front, and hope that we don't have too much weight without the without a rear weight on. I know the gritter is kind of heavy. Drop that off there. And in here. That's what I thought this would be a little too heavy without a rear weight. Be able to sneak it around. Get hooked up. that'll work. Rear the trailer will give enough back weight to keep the gritter in place. I mean, to give me rear traction at least. Some rear traction, not a whole bunch. Maybe we'll title this episode "Comedy of Errors." Like everything's going wrong so far. Like I said, the reason we want to get these bales up here and get that gritter up there is we have first day of winter. We have snow in the forecast. I have no idea how much snow we're going to end up getting, but we do have snow in the forecast for the first day of winter. And we fed our sheep yesterday, day 6, 7, 8, 9, so we're going to need to feed them their last day of autumn or the first day of winter. Same with our cows. We're going to need to feed them right around that dangerous time period. So it's pretty good to go ahead and prep as best we can. That means get the gritter up here where we might need it first, but to get the roads cleared. Get some bales up here. We'll probably bring another load of bales up here tomorrow. Try to get those stockpiled a little bit. And in fact, whatever we bale, we're probably going to just stick up here for now. Have some number of bales just stored up here, short term. Then we have snow on day 4 of winter. First day of midwinter, we also have snow. But probably, you know, we got some warm weather there, the day 3. We might actually get the snow, the first snow melted away. And then we got another batch of snow coming. So it's looking like we may have a winter where we're going to have snow on the ground for the most part. Low on Friday, day 5 of winter, we got a low of 19 degrees. So probably definitely going to end up with frozen ground. Dealing with frozen ground here. Stick the gritter right here. Drops off. Go ahead and top the sheep off. Probably the only bale that they're going to take. Just check. See. Oh no, they're going to need some more. And with these bales only being 2,000 pounds, 2,000 liters. And now these are underneath just under 2,000 liters because these bales were caught out. If you remember a few weeks ago we had a video where we had a hailstorm. Well, these bales were caught out in the hailstorm and we lost a little bit of volume to them. They're not even quite full 2,000 liters. Lost, who knows how much windrowed hay on the field, because a fair number of fields were caught out when the hail did start. We still had windrowed hay. Then we were able to bale the hay without too much of a hassle. But we did lose some volume in our hay bales also before we ended up getting them all picked up off the ground. I wasn't expecting on using all 6 of these bales for a sheep to top them off, but oh well. Look at it. I didn't use all 6. I used 5 of the 6. We're actually going to be able to store 1 bale down here. Funny stuff. Thankfully, we don't need. We know we don't need a counterweight now for 2,000 liter bales of straw or hay. Might still need a counterweight for the the silage bales. It's because they are to be a little bit heavier. This is a T7, is it? This front mower gets the back end a little light also. At least we're still able to manipulate it around until we hook up the rear mower. Something. Yeah. Let's top off our water while we're at it. We're going to go ahead and mow this field here because I want to check. I did get the top field there, field 5, planted in canola. I want to see if we've got any growth. If we do, then we're going to also spray that field before winter comes. I'm not expecting a whole giant amount of yield out of here. If we're going to use hay for our sheep, yes. We're going to use hay for our cows, yes. For the power food. And we're going to use hay for the BGA, yes. Well, then we're going to use as much hay as we can. Yeah, we do have growth of canola. We're going to get in here and spray that again before winter comes. I also want to get in and get that canola planted on the other field that we had corn on. And we also need to cultivate our wheat field. And if all goes well, we're going to maybe put something down in that. this afternoon when we get to the mainland to sell our produce, we're going to go ahead and talk to our real estate agent about picking up those 3 fields that we've been talking about buying. So we're going to be able to go ahead and pick them up, and then we'll need to consider plowing those up at some point. Of course, if we can get that done before winter, then we can get it done before the frozen ground hits. If for some reason we don't get it done before frozen ground occurs, then we're pretty much stuck until springtime. I don't want to get it done before then. These windrows are not so thick. Might actually be able to windrow up a couple of these windrows together and bale them fairly quickly. Just have to see how things work out here. Basically, the idea is we're not going to get any more growth off of this grass before winter. And if we leave it on the ground, winter, good old Mother Nature will kill it once winter comes. So might as well get as much off of these fields as we can this year. Much the thought process. Get it off the field. Let's go ahead and make use of it. Alright, so I'll be back with you once we get this done. I think we're just going to work one field at a time now, as opposed to working a whole bunch of grass fields and then mowing them and then coming back and tedding them and then windrowing them. I think we're just going to work one field at a time. So I'll be right back with you. Alright, well, this concludes the tedding. Got all that done real quick. Let's go ahead and get our merge max out here and see what we can do as far as windrowing up this stuff. Just gonna put this stuff kind of away just to it's somewhat tidy and somewhat out of our way, but still not go through a huge amount of effort to get everything put away, because, well, we're just going to need to get it out. Sewing up, and I think we'll have it discharged to the right. Let's see. Go middle, go right. Have to see what the overall thickness of this windrow looks like to see if we think we're going to maybe merge merge to the left and slam another 9 meters worth of hay onto that. So that's where probably this implement really comes into play, where you need to not when you need to, but when you can effectively merge in working width to one side and then kind of flip around and merge the working width the other way. Right up here and change it to turn it off. We have to raise it. Now we've changed the mode to discharge to the left. And that windrow is probably going to be too big. Probably going to choke the baler. Probably be baling at a pretty slow rate, but what the hey. Right, that's why we've got this cool implement, so we can do this cool merging. If you're going like 2 miles an hour, is that any and you only make like 2 or 3 passes around the field, is that really any slower than doing, let's say, 5 miles an hour and making 4 or 5 passes around? No. Try to smooth this turn out a little bit. And keep this thing discharging to the side, I guess. Have a little experiment. We can have one row where we discharge left and right, and then we can have a windrow where we just discharge to one side. See how that works. So yeah, I think this this Merge Max is pretty cool. I liked it the first time I tried it, which was on this map. I had not used it up until then, and I think it's pretty cool. It's just really darn expensive. If it wasn't so darn expensive, it would be even better. Better together. Alright, well, we're going to finish doing this windrow real fast, and then I'll be back with you once you're baling. Alright, well, the baling's not going too terrible bad. 4 miles an hour on these on this double merged windrow. Already taken out one bale, so there's 2. venture to guess, I'd say we're probably going to get maybe about 20 bales off of this. Bales at 2,000 liters, so that's 10 bales at 4,000 liters, and we're feeding our sheep about five or six bales every couple days. This would 20 bales off of this field would hold our sheep for about maybe half of winter. I have to see. These are two windrows together, so basically getting a double yield out of this outside windrow compared to the rest of them. I have to kind of compare with this windrow, baling speed, to the baling speed of the single width. And if we're half as fast, or if we're twice as fast baling with the other windrows, or if we are not, to know is it time effective to merge two of them together or to just leave them separate. I think I can bale up to, I think I can bale at 10 or 12 miles an hour maybe, depending on how thick the material is. Good. But the working width of the baler is, not working width, but the working speed. Choked a little bit here. Much. Oops. Pay a little more attention at the fill level, because I've got that, I've got the mod in that's supposed to be the variable alarm. But seems like half the time, or most of the time, I don't hear the alarm anymore. Alright, so right about here is where we are thinning our windrow out. Now to just one windrow width. Oops, 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 oops. Alright, we're definitely one windrow width now. Let's see here. Now we're baling at 8 miles an hour. It's about twice as fast. So I guess it's really, it isn't more effective to windrow them together. Because if we windrow them together, we're baling at half the speed, but we're making bales twice as quick. Seems to be flip a coin. It's the phrase half dozen one or the other. Doesn't really matter which way we do it. Now going down here, we're getting 11 miles an hour. Apply that we more effective with our baling by picking up one windrow width. Come down here and pick up this outside bit that we missed. Pick up as much of that as we can. Alright, well, I'll be back with you once we get this done mowed, or done baled. So guys, I thought I'd check and see how many bales we got, and we got 19. Not too bad. I was estimating 20 out of there, so we pulled in 19 bales. So we'll have 20 with the one bale that we did bring up from down the other bale storage area. And instead of picking up the bales, I thought we would close this out by running up here and spraying our canola field. And I think that'll get it to 3 stages, and then we won't have to touch that field until it's time to harvest. So I've been thinking a little bit about these sprayers, and in particular this sprayer here where we have the front tank and the rear tank. And it seems that in game, the sprayer empties out of the back first, and then empties out of the front. It could leave, I guess, the tractor a little front heavy as a result of the liquid in the front. I've been kind of thinking, what if there was a way to have this sprayer empty kind of evenly, front and back, kind of at the same time, as opposed to you know, empty them completely out of the back first and then completely out of the front. And the same would hold if it emptied completely out of the front first and then out of the back. That in theory the tractor could be back heavy. But yeah, I was thinking to myself, what if we this thing would empty evenly across both the front and the back. So right now you can see the back is pretty much empty. That up. Okay, you can see the back is pretty much empty at this point, but the front gauge is basically full. Lower that now. Off we go. Again, we're using that really cool sprayer add-on, and we've got it in automatic mode. So when portions of the spray bar are not over portions of the field that need fertilized, the sprayer will cut those nozzles off automatically. You could also switch it to, I think, a mode where we only use the left half and the right half, and it's kind of a little bit more manual, but I kind of like the automatic mode because it's, one, simple, and two, it allows us to conserve our liquid fertilizer. See, now we've completely emptied the rear tank, and now we're draining the front tank. See, we have overspray off the side of the field, it will cut it off. And where we end up overlapping, once we've made a full pass here, we're going to start overlapping, and where we overlap it will turn it off, and it reduces the seed usage at the same time. That is pretty cool. Stop, back up. See if that'll cut it off completely. Forward. Turn these sides on here first, and it will slowly turn the rest of the spray bar on. Very cool mod. Suggest everybody get it. It's in the mod hub. It's called Sprayer Add-on, and then there is a companion mod to it that is basically the scripted changes that need to be done to the in-game sprayers and the Coon sprayer. And then the large in-game slurry spreader is also been modded by the mod author, and you can download that mod also to kind of take advantage of maybe a little bit more efficient slurry application. And if there was ever a need for being efficient with slurry, that would definitely be it, because slurry gets used up so quickly in game. Anything that would allow it to be used a little more efficiently. See, once we get down to here, it cuts the whole bar off because all of this is sprayed, and we're no longer using fertilizer. Get over here. Use it at a much lower rate, but as we turn on more and more of the bar, fertilizer will get consumed faster. So for such an expensive commodity that liquid fertilizer is, this mod really helps extend the life of the fertilizer that you've purchased, thus allowing you to do more with the same amount of money. That'll just about do up the field here. Well, thank you guys for watching. I know this video went a little bit longer than normal, but I think we did pretty much a little bit of everything here. In fact, I think instead of calling this episode a comedy of errors, I think we're just going to call this a lot of nothing. Maybe a little bit of everything. So what we're going to do off camera is finish up the mowing and everything. We'll come back at some point, maybe tomorrow, maybe game day 9, and seed that last canola field, and we'll go across the sound and purchase the land. We'll do that in the next video. Like I said, I don't know if that video will come game day 8 or game day 9 of autumn, but between now and then, we'll just keep working on the grass fields here, collecting up hay bales, and trying to maximize our hay stockpile for winter and early autumn. So, until next time, guys, happy farming.